The TorbayHour radio show. Brought to you by the Babacom Inn Christmas Party Night.
Good evening, it is 8 o'clock, it's Monday night, which means it's time for the TorbayHour radio show. Today is the 1st of December, which means it's the first month we get to punch Martin, pinch punch first of the month.
Yeah, thanks.
And also, of course, first day of advent calendars everywhere. You can hear the sound of creaking doors. There's selfies going on in the studio. In the studio tonight, we've got Alison Hernandez. Good evening.
Good evening.
God dear, I thought counsellors were meant to be kind of really serious. I mean, what's going on here?
Not our Alison.
I can be when it's needed.
Okay. Well, we're going to be interrogating you about business in Torbay at the moment. It's kind of selfie city going on here. Look at this, it's just crazy. All the usual fun on the show. We've got the 140-second pitches. We've got our account of the week. We've got some great songs from Devon homegrown acts, which is wonderful. Now, our account of the week this week was a 140-second pitcher a few weeks ago, and he's in the studio as well, bringing mince pies.
It's Christmas. Are we lifting the Christmas embargo?
Hang on. Did you say it's Christmas is the account of the week?
Yes.
Oh, my word.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Oh, my goodness gracious me. No, the account of the week this week is Disco Junction. Mr. Simon Lee is amongst us, ladies and gentlemen. Simon Lee. I was going to say welcome to the studio. You're here more often than I am.
Yeah, welcome to the studio, Rick.
Thanks very much. It's good to be here, yes. So, Disco Junction, you're actually a relatively new account, aren't you?
We are. We've been going about 3 or 4 months now, maybe just a little bit over that, up to 700-odd followers already.
You're doing very well. I think you've gone even past me. That's another point. We'll pick that up one later on. But anyway, so listen, I think the clue is probably in the name, but for people that don't know what you do, what do you do?
We do everything, really. Entertainment, discos, parties, kids' parties. We did one for one of the TorbayHour guys last week. Good old James,
right,
with his niece. And we even got him on the dance floor for about 30 seconds. Before his niece pushed him off. Right. We do, like I said, we do weddings, Christmas parties, we do karaoke, anything really. We do face painting, lots and lots of stuff we do. We adapt to whatever theme people like. We had Be Mad at Babacom Inn on Friday who wanted a rock evening, so we gave him a rock evening. Okay. And then the following day we had a whole load of more mature people in, or senior is a good word, and wanted some rock and roll. So we did that. So we will play anything from the 40s right up to modern day, and we've got great offers on at the moment, things like 4 for the price of 3. So if you book 3 gigs with us, we will give you the 4th absolutely free.
So 3 birthdays and a wedding, 4 weddings and a funeral, perhaps.
Well, that'd be 5.
Oh yeah, okay. 3 weddings and a funeral.
Yes.
I'm trying to imagine the scenario where you want a disco funeral.
I'll have one at mine, please.
I'll book you for mine.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. That's business already.
Make sure you pay in advance.
As long as you play Going Underground.
He says, well, actually, do you know, this is an aside thing. There's a chart released this week of the songs that people want at their funerals.
Oh, there was.
That number 1 is Always Look on the Bright Side of Life.
Yeah.
Which is a great tune. It's a great tune. Anyway, so now, listen, social media, you've got incredible amounts of followers. How much business would you say you've actually managed to achieve purely from having your social media presence?
A heck of a lot. Probably about 80 to 90% is
really?
Social media. Other things have been where we've done leaflet drops and got in to actually meet people in venues, and they've liked us, so have booked us direct. They like the fact that we get involved. We don't just stand behind all the DJ equipment and hit a button. They like the fact that we will get up on the dance floor sober, which is it takes a lot for me to do that.
I'm shocked and stunned. I've been in this game for I don't know how many years, and I have never taken to the dance floor.
You haven't seen him move.
Yeah, no, it's really not. It's not good. Really not good.
He's got a dance studio here. I can't believe you said that.
I got a dance teacher as a wife as well.
I think maybe we should get a picture of Rick doing a dance and tweet it.
No.
But yeah, we will get involved, whether that's behind the equipment and be dancing, or in front of it, and we will adapt to absolutely anything people want. So if people take a sudden fancy to one particular type of music, we will adapt to that. There's nothing we won't play as long as people are happy, and at the end of the day all we want is people to go home absolutely happy that they've had a great time, and so far feedback has just been incredible from all the people we've worked with. And we don't just do venues, we've been to people's houses to do a 21st birthday.
Wow.
We've done 18ths. There's lots that we've done, right down to face painting at kids' parties. For James's party last week, we did a lot of face painting. Didn't manage to get his face painted, unfortunately, but we did try. But we will do absolutely anything.
James, I'm disappointed you didn't get the TorbayHour logo done. Very disappointed.
Well, it should have maybe just been done anyway, but that's another story altogether. So what does 2015 hold for you?
Well, 2015, we're hoping it's going to be more weddings. We've got a couple of weddings coming up in December, but we're hoping weddings is going to be the big thing for us. We love a wedding. We've done one already this year. We've got 2 more this month, and it's pretty much wedding season as we kick into 2015. But just keep on doing the same we're doing, carrying on with what we hold dear, which is good music. I mean, I'm only half of Disco Junction. There's 2 of us. You always get 2 of us. There's myself and my wife Laura. We're always there. If I'm behind the equipment, she's out meeting and greeting people. You know, what do you want played? People can even tweet us while we're live doing gigs, requesting music.
That is cool.
And we will play it for them.
Cool.
Which we think we're pretty much probably the only DJs that do that at the moment. We're not sure. I can't say that 100%, but I've never seen that being done. And people are very impressed when we say, just tweet us at Disco Junction and we will play the song. And people have been doing that. They've been messaging us on Facebook, all sorts of stuff, and we will do it. And it's pretty much next song on with that rapid a response that we will do that for them.
Wow.
And if we haven't got it, we will download it there and then and play it.
Are you sure?
We have our Pro Dub license, so
I see.
cost a fortune. Broke the bank.
I'd be downloading all. I'd be asking for all the obscure things.
Yeah, like
just to
combine
test them.
harvesting.
It's not obscure. That's just required.
But yes, we will play anything as long as we don't think it will cause offence. If we think it will cause offence, whoever's hosting the party, we will say, we've had this request in, this is the lyrics in it, or this is the message it's giving. Are you happy for us to play it? If they're happy, we'll play it. If they're not, we won't. It's that simple.
I tell you what, it's dodgy territory. But yeah, but you're a brave man. You are a brave man. So
Can I
there's.
ask a question?
Sorry?
Do you have any video footage of you dancing and moving about outside of your disco? I wouldn't mind seeing it.
No.
Oh,
The
one for you.
the camera would break.
Of course, of course.
If I could see you.
Right, yeah, this is going in directions which it really shouldn't. It really is. No, so anyway, look, back to Disco Junction. So social media definitely the way forward for you on that.
Definitely.
But what about now? What about when it comes to when someone's booking their wedding? There's so much that they need to take into account in terms of the photographer, the cake, the wedding, the cars, the church, the registry office, whatever it is you're going to be doing. And it's kind of sometimes people just sort of go, I've forgotten the party at the end. What do we do? So, what's the, do you work with wedding planners? Do you work with with venues to sort of be the recommended supplier?
We will work with anybody. We don't have a specific venue that we are sort of on their books for every wedding. However, Babacom Inn, that's sponsoring TorbayHour, we are their Christmas party nights. It's good old Babacom Inn, every Friday and Saturday, even some Thursdays in there as well. But we will go as and when we have vacancies. So it doesn't matter where it is, we will travel there. We don't actually have a specific venue that will just book us out for that. We've got venues that have said we will recommend you, but not working with any wedding planners at all yet. So
I've always thought, I mean, and this is presumably the function of a wedding planner, that there needs to be a kind of one-stop shop where you can get a photographer, the disco, the cake, everything all in one. Not necessarily the venue, but just all of the ancillary services around a wedding.
It would make sense to do that, and we even have a cake stand, a 3-tier cake stand that we can hire out. We do gifts for the bride and groom.
Really?
How many times has I've heard stories, if other people haven't, where they've gone, we've got the cake, and we haven't got the stand. And you're just like, Disco Junction. Just Disco Junction it.
It's a logical mind leap, isn't it? That one?
It's just there. It's something that we thought, do you know what? We'll have it. Just in case, if anybody ever wanted it, it's in the back of the car. for weddings. So if something was to happen, it's there and we can just pull it out, whack, away you go. We just want people to have a great night. That's it. So we will do things like gifts for the bride and groom. If it's birthdays, things like that, we will write birthday cards for whoever's birthday it is, give them a little gift, something that just makes it a bit more personal than someone just turning up and pressing play on something, which is what you don't want.
Absolutely. We like that. Brilliant. Well, listen, thank you for coming in. The important thing you need to do is give us your contact details.
Right, okay. You can contact us, obviously, on good old Twitter. We're here every Monday evening from 8 till 9 on TorbayHour. It's at Disco Junction. It's facebook.com/Disco Junction. We're also discojunction@outlook.com, or you can give us a call. It's 0740 2737 James Bond on the end, 007.
I wondered why you were kind of trying to stop laughing there. It's 'cause you've got
He had the joke all lined up, didn't he?
It's like kick it in the back of the net. Simon, thank you for coming in. We will hear from you very, very soon. I have no doubts.
Brilliant. Thanks for having me.
The featured accounts with the Works Torbay. Flexible, affordable workspace. A new way of working and doing business.
Okay, if this is your first time listening to the show, it's not always quite this crazy,
mad.
I think it's fair to say. What we also do, there's an affronted look on there. We are actually here to talk business. Funnily enough, yes. What's going on in the Twitter feed tonight?
Right, so Nutshell Law, they joined us on the show a few weeks ago now. They're on the hour, so if you've got any legal questions, just drop him a tweet and he'll give you a hand. Torbay Design have been on. Get your website done before Christmas. They've still got a couple of spaces left, so if you are looking at relaunching the website in the new year, well, why not get it done this year?
Give them something to do over the Christmas break.
Yeah. Well, most of the time you're sat at home trying to avoid the family, so why not?
It's more of your family life coming out.
I won't be at home.
No, clearly.
Yeah, obviously. Team ABR, they're close to 600 followers, so why not give them a follow? And New Lion Brewery from Totnes, they're at the Totnes Market, and they got 3 beers and a glass, 10 quid. That's not bad.
Fantastic, we like that. It's good. Got to say good evening now, really, to the South Hams Hour as well. They've been tweeting us all week saying, can we get a mention on the show?
Yes.
So, yes, you can.
Yes,
and
there
yes,
you go.
had it now. That's wonderful. So, if you want to get in touch tonight, if there's something which you would like to talk about, you can get in touch. You can do that via Twitter. You can do it via the phone. You could do it pretty much any way you like. But Twitter is the preferred method because it comes straight through to all of us sat here in the studio. Indeed. It's coming up to 8:15, 1st of December, because some people accused us of not being live. Unless, of course, you're listening on the YouTube channel, when it probably isn't.
I'm not live on YouTube.
No, and to be fair, I always watch it on catch up. I mean, listen.
Watch, listen.
I might stare at the screen as well, but...
Yeah. Alison Hernandez joins us in this. Councillor. No, is the correct term? Do we say Councillor Hernandez?
Usually just Alison's fine.
Alison's fine. Well, I just, I don't know whether I should be standing and saluting.
Thank you.
No, fine. So, welcoming, you're the Conservative councillor for Shippey and the Willows.
Yeah.
Okay, but you've got an extensive business background as well, haven't you?
Oh, well, I think if you want to call running your own business for 5 years, which was a small, tiny business, extensive, you can say that. But, I've been working... I would say trying to find out what it's like to run a business, and I spent a little time doing that with a business partner who was a lovely retired chief inspector from the police. There's nothing like having a business partner who's a policeman.
No.
But I was the company secretary and had to do all the hard slog. That's all I can say.
Right. Of course. And now you're a councillor, obviously in Torbay. So particularly relevant, and what we need to know is what Torbay Council's attitude is towards small and medium SMEs. And to know what the future holds for SMEs in this neck of the woods, and also I want to know what you think is the biggest barrier to doing business in Torbay and South Devon.
God, that's like the biggest question ever.
It is.
That's massive. Well, all I can say is obviously small business is the backbone of a lot of the things in the southwest, let alone in Torbay, but it is the backbone of our economy. And what we like to see is people making an effort and seeing what they can do with themselves and being quite self-sustaining, and a small business is very much about that. In terms of what the council's view, it's quite interesting because obviously what you'd probably find is people say there's a lot of barriers to running a business in in Torbay, but I would say in most places, because of the cost. The cost is high, depending on what type of business you want to run. So obviously the biggest one and the most visible one that people talk about is the high street. They talk about Torquay and Paignton as, if you like, shops or retail outlets or empty spaces that are not being used. And I think there's probably a lot of challenges for people to run a business in those towns, but there are people doing it, and there are people doing it really successfully. So I think, why don't you pop in there and go and ask them how they're doing it?
Well, we could do. And we do every week. We ask people to tell us what's going on in their businesses in Torbay and South Devon. I think a lot of people would see the council sometimes as almost a business prevention unit, because whatever you try and do, there is generally going to be something, whether it's the rates, and the rates always get a hitting for everyone, don't they?
Yeah.
But the councils don't get the money directly, do they? It goes into a central government pot, which is then shared out.
It is. And the plans at the moment for it to come locally. It's a government initiative to try and make business rates collected locally and kept locally, but Torbay would actually lose out with that because we don't get as much business rates as, say, a big city might. So they would have there's plans to actually give it, an extra grant to places like Torbay that would need an uplift to help sustain it. But really what we want is more business, so we don't need things like grants and things like that to sustain us. We need to have people generating money in the bay and paying it in to the council so we can keep the roads nice and the all the things that people complain to me about, like parking. And
parking and roads is a kind of separate issue. But they're saying that parking to do with business, and there's all kinds of things with roads. Big announcements today about improvement of the road network to bring people into the southwest. But is that going to attract business? Do you think that that's going to attract business, bigger, sustainable, job-bringing business to the southwest?
Do you know, it's a funny one, that. You see, as ward councillor for Shippey with the Willows, I'm at the ward where the new road is going to come out, the South Devon Link Road. I'm of the view where I support it. I think we're maybe 50 years too late. We've been lobbying for that road for ages. It'll be the same with some of the other infrastructure improvements. I support them. We need them. It's just, I think the way that we do business is changing. And I think, infrastructure is critical to improving the southwest, but it's not the be-all and end-all. Look, Cornwall's tourism and the success that it has, and it's the furthest end you could go. People will travel miles for something that's got a really good product or service, and I say the same about the town centres. People will shop in there if there is a really great products and services.
So what is the council doing to attract businesses that people want to go to? Is there any plans to bring a John Lewis or a big department store like that to somewhere other than just the Willows? Because the out-of-town shopping centres are all very well, but the problem is if you then make free parking, people will go there, which is great, but the money doesn't go to local businesses and it detracts from the high street. Because if you're then having to pay a fortune, what do you do? Do you go and pay several pounds to go and park in the centre of town, or go to a free place to park?
Well,
it's a no-brainer.
It's quite interesting because, again, being Shippey and the Willows Ward Council, obviously I support the out-of-town shops that are there. They're part of what I'm representative of. But the interesting thing is, I don't spend a lot of time personally shopping in the high street. I'm a busy working mum, and I will tell you now, when I speak to most of the busy working mums that I speak to, they don't shop in the high street, they will shop online. And that shift of people shopping in a different way for convenience, and that's what out of town is, convenience. It's not just about the free parking, it's the fact that they're open till 8 at night. It's the fact that you can go there on a Sunday. It's the fact that they'll be there. So I think there's something about consistency that's probably required in terms of businesses in the town centre. I'd like to see some shops opening till 7 at night.
So what's stopping it?
It's quite I speak to the small businesses in the high street, and they will tell me, we already work really long hours, Alison. I can't afford to hire more people because there isn't the demand at the moment for that to happen. And it's one of those chicken and egg things. So
shift the working day, start at midday.
Yeah, I've suggested these things because actually they're not that busy in the morning, but they're in a routine. A lot of people who run business, some of them do it as a hobby down here. Some of them do it for bread and butter, living. But we've been looking at, one of the reasons that I started up with Nick Ellison, Torbay Social Media Cafe, where we go around to different venues in the towns to help businesses get better online and for free with other experts who know what they're talking about with social media and things like that. It was to actually start encouraging businesses to be open between 5 and 7 in the evening, cafes particularly, because I wanted to see that there was a demand there between 5 and 7. So, for an example, Dot's Pantry's been great in Torquay. Millie and Me and Brixham we go to a lot as well, and they will open and be available between those hours. And what we've done is take the demand there. I'd like to just see how we can get more of that demand at those sorts of hours, because the parking's cheaper as well, don't forget.
Oh, yeah, indeed. But what's to stop the council offering free parking?
I'll tell you what the issue is at the moment is Torbay Council is a unitary council. And one of the challenges that we've had as a small unitary council, and unitary means we are responsible for both the care for the elderly and the care for our young. So those people who are in need of support services, we have responsibility for, and we have to fund that. And it's very expensive. Children in care cost a lot of money. We have children who need homes. I'd love people to foster more. I'd love people to think about adoption. Really want people to be thinking about these are the things that are costing our council a lot of money, but actually they're costing our children a lot of money because of how they're being supported or not in our community. So because we have these costs, we need more money and income. I'd like to see it coming from business rates, but at the moment it's a balance around how we get some of that income in, or reduce our costs, which we've been doing, which is why some services have stopped over the past couple of years.
Right, okay.
God, this has all got really serious, you know. I'm not even the portfolio holder for any of this. I'm just the lowly old ward councillor for Shippy with the Willows.
Well, that's fine.
That's good, though.
That's the point, isn't it, really? And, I mean, this is one of the... I mean, we can talk about this later on, but it's always kind of bothered me when there are things which... And I guess it's the nature of politics. When there are things which really everyone's got the same kind of view on, why the sort of political colours of council has to come out. Why can't people actually just go, well, actually, do you know what? That's a good idea.
Yeah.
We support that. Let's do it.
Yeah. Why
mean,
don't they do it?
Yeah, exactly. Why don't they do it? Well, there seems to be a thing with politics at all levels where it's kind of like, actually, no, I stand in the opposite party to you. I'll take an opposite view just because I should.
Yeah.
Rather than actually, wouldn't it be refreshing if someone stood up in the House of Commons and went, do you know what? That's a great idea. I support you wholeheartedly in that. It'll never happen.
It happens in local government, actually. It happens less so nationally, because I think people don't really appreciate what politics is about in terms of the role of the opposition. The role of the opposition is to take the opposing view, because their job is to hold the current administration to account. It is to challenge what the current administration is doing to ensure that the current administration does the right thing. So it's important that there is an opposing view, and it does look on TV and in local conversations when it happens like, oh, they're just being political and being a pain. Actually, it's partly their job to do that. So,
unless it's a good idea.
Well, if sometimes we do have ideas that go cross-party and it's fully supported, but they are quite rare.
Hang on, you heard it here first. It's rare for politicians to have a great idea.
Oh, no, I didn't say that, did I? Is that how it came across? Duh.
Yes.
Actually, it probably is, because do you know what? A lot of the ideas come from the public, they come from the business community, they come from the community groups, they come from a random individual, or they come from an architect. Let's not talk about Carey Green and the pavilion. People come forward with ideas, and one of the things I found, it's not just in Torbay, it is across the country, but people who put their head above the parapet and say, how about thinking about this idea, something a little bit different, they get shot down, they get attacked in a personal capacity to say, who do you think you are putting that idea forward? We don't want that. And people don't spend the time understanding the concept of where this idea could go for the Bay. And I think we have a lot of that going on at the moment. And I'd like to see a lot more people support things rather than just object to them. So if you support something that you've seen, let it be known that you support it, because only the objectors ever get heard.
But there's so many points you covered there. I mean, social media, the accessibility, the fact that you're obviously active on Twitter. I can see what you're up to. I can see sometimes when you're in the pub what you're doing. You're accessible, and it's easy for people to hide behind social media and send you an abusive message because they think that they're immune from that. You wouldn't go to a public meeting and stand up and say the things that people do on social media.
Actually, I've only had 2 people ever be horrible to me on social media. Considering I've been on Twitter since 2008, I've only had 2 people be horrible to me, and one of them apologised, and the other one just stopped talking to me after I highlighted them. So Oh, no, it's 3. Sorry, I've had another recent one.
Now the Martin's here as well.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
no, I had
yeah,
another
yeah.
recent one. But yeah, people generally on social media aren't bad. It's public meetings that I struggle with where, it's in your face.
Right, and people are actually prepared to stand up and abuse you directly.
Yeah, they actually. I was at not even me personally, but I was at a Torquay neighbourhood plan meeting a couple of weeks ago. It was a public meeting where anyone could go to see what the future of Torquay could hold in terms of what we're going to do with some of the land. Where should housing go? Where should retail go? How are we going to deal with the future of the bay? There's probably, I'd say, 150 people came to that. All, quite an interesting bunch of people. Some who've been involved a lot, some who haven't. But the first point that somebody wanted to make was somebody who had a disability, that they couldn't see and access all of the information that was stuck around the room on the walls. Now, that's a really fair point, right, that hadn't been thought about. But the person who did it was vociferous and thought that she was talking to the council. She thought it was a council officer stood at the front of the room, and it was a volunteer who'd organised the meeting. And as soon as she realised it wasn't the council, she apologised. And I think, what does that tell you about what people think about people who are involved with the council? I think that's not acceptable. You do not think you can be rude to people just because they work for a local authority or they stand to, represent a community. I don't like that bit. That's the bit I don't like.
Sure. No, I understand that. I don't think anyone deserves to get any particular abuse for the job that they're doing. It's not fair. If you feel that strongly, you should stand for yourself.
Yeah. I always say that. It's an easy line, though, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it is. But actually, at the end of the day, it's true as well, isn't it? Because it is open to anyone. You decided to stand, and that's what you've done. So there you go.
That's all I've done. Yeah, I just decided to stand and hurrah, here I am.
Exactly.
Didn't do anything to get here.
That's the way it works. That's the way it
just
works.
Magic.
But do you not think... actually, no, let's play a song. We'll come back and talk. Otherwise, we're just going to completely run out of time. It's just after 8:25. It is the TorbayHour radio show with the Barbican Inn and their Christmas party nights with Simon and friends on the floor. Right, Dave Harbottle and Friendly Cats now. This is called Ramble.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. This old town I grew, I wander on to something new. I trade all comfort safe and true in treading shores with pastures new. I'll hit the road and hit it strong, leave all possessions, money, no. Family knows quite well, I'm sure, that I was born to ramble. Sometimes the days feel awful long, I feel too weak to carry on. For some days time it does stand still, and all my aches and pains will heal. Nights have become so lonesome since, but never have I enjoyed the dream quite as much as I do now, for I was born to ramble. Sunny rises in foreign lands, if you were here life would be grand. For I'm not sure when I'll be home, my heart it aches for more to roam. Town have I grew, I wander on to something new. I trade all comfort safe and true, in treading shores with pastures new. I hit the road and hit it strong, leave all possessions, money, no. Well, my family knows quite well, I'm sure, that I was born to ramble.
Dave Harbottle and the Friendly Cats, and that is called Ramble. If you want to find out all about them, they are all over social media. Very, very good as well. They've toured over Europe, and they are, of course, from here in Devon, which is where all the music comes that we play on the show. It's coming up to 8:30. It is the TorbayHour radio show, brought to you by the Barbican Inn and those Christmas party nights. In the studio tonight, Councillor Hernandez. No, sorry, Alison, we're allowed to call you. We're allowed to call you.
I don't think I can't remember when I introduced myself as Councillor Hernandez.
Can I stop curtsying now? It's starting to hurt a bit.
Well, I've had
All of
Simon
us.
on his knees already, so you can go next, Martin.
Okay. Now we've been getting quite serious. We've been talking about business in Torbay and South Devon. We've been talking about the politics of business and how people. Well, it's right and proper. There is opposition to everything. However, there's got to be a way forward. It's as simple as that. Obviously, there are going to be radical changes to the political landscape and also the business landscape in Torbay and South Devon, or Devon as a whole, and in fact the country over the next 12 months or so. And how does a council prepare when it gets towards the end of its term? Presumably almost as much as the day after you get elected or a council is in power, that they're almost planning for when they're not.
What exactly do you mean by that?
Well, when you think you've always got to be facing the fact that whatever you decide, because of the process of everything taking so long, say there are radical plans. So the South Devon Link Road, all the infrastructure that's going to come at the end of that, some of the plans which have been in the public eye, some that haven't, I'm sure as well. Those are 10-year plans.
Yeah.
Whereas a council isn't necessarily in charge for that long.
Yeah, that's where the working with the opposition, as I said, there are some ideas that we do support cross-party. Those ones that are really important, like the Link Road, there'd have been full council support for the Link Road, for example. Those sorts of things, that will happen cross-party. So then it doesn't. Whoever gets in next time, we've agreed it as parties. Right. So that's part of the way to do it. And when we want to show a lot of support for something that's really important, we'll do it cross-party. So that's how we will work. But I would say what's quite interesting is when you get elected, you're not really thinking about when you're not going to be there in 4 years' time. You're so I can't believe it. It's like a flipping tsunami waving coming towards you when you first get elected, because you've no idea what it's really like. And I think those who are probably in their second and third terms, who have a lot more experience than I do, cope with it much better. But I just think that it's a lot to take in the first 4 years, and you'll be surprised how long you need to learn it. I'm in year 3 and I'm still learning massive. My learning curve is like I'm still at the bottom of it, it's nowhere near peaking.
So what are the challenges of working as a unitary authority? So obviously Torbay sits within Devon, so you have to work with Devon County Council for a lot of the things that are going on, roads, not education but other things.
Yeah.
When you're then working with something like the South Devon Link Road, where you're dealing with other authorities like Teambridge as well, so you've got those 3 authorities plus presumably central government to work with as well. Do you sometimes feel that you're the little brother and you kind of get battered into the side?
Well, interestingly, the mayor probably does most of those ones that are cross-border. So he sits on things like the Local Economic Partnership, which is Devon and Somerset, the heart of the Southwest. And basically, he will be influencing decisions that are made of funding that might come to the Bay linked to roads or projects. So like, for example, the reversal of traffic in Tor, which again has been a 15-year sort of lobbying issue, so that cars can actually come into the town. Can you believe that? Would you imagine that's true? That you can actually come into the top of town and go into Tor rather than around the houses. So that money's come through the local enterprise partnership, through their transport board, and so you may feel small, but I think that's why in a way I am supportive of an elected mayor position. Not many of my colleagues are, but I am supportive of it, because when you're a small unitary authority, you need a big, powerful voice. And I think a mayor is the right type of position to have. So I can tell you now, when I've been to London, I won that national award for social media a couple of years ago, and I was in awe of the other local authorities, people from Birmingham. We've got £1 billion budget, and little Tin Pot Torbay, it felt like, with its £125 million a year sort of grant that we get. And I felt really small. And actually, one of the things they said to me was, well, you are small, really. We don't really care about you down in Torbay. You're like pathetic. It's Birmingham we care about. It's a massive council. And I thought, God, I don't want people thinking Torbay is not important. So it is about having a strong voice. And I hate saying voice because I'm about action. But it is about people knowing you. That's why I'm a big networker. I make sure that I know as many people as possible, so that I'm promoting Torbay about how great it is to come and do business here, or to come and live here, or to come and visit here. So it's all about getting Torbay known, really.
How great is it to do business in Torbay?
It is great. Let's be honest that people who are doing really good business here are doing a really good job, and they're pretty inspirational people. I think of the small businesses, people like Sophie at Millie and Me. She's got to have a mention, hasn't she? She's like part of the gang. But, she works really hard. She does exciting, creative things in her cafe, like a pop-up bar. Hello. I even went across to Brixham to go and enjoy that one time. Don't get me wrong, the taxi fare back home was very expensive, and I won't be doing it again unless I can get a lift share or something. But, we went across to there. That's absolutely fantastic, a pop-up bar. Doing the social media cafes in places like Dot's Pantry. Do you notice I talk a lot about coffee shops? Yeah. But it's just because I hot desk in there a lot. So I go to places with Wi-Fi and I sit and do my work.
But this is you, and you are of a different demographic for I would say most of the councillors, and the things that you're doing are different and more visible than most of the councillors. What is the council as a whole doing to support business? Some great examples, but with the greatest respect, Millie and Me is never going to be a multi-million-pound chain employing 50,000 people across the area.
Well, I'll give you a bigger one. I'll give you a bigger one then. For example, Edginswell Business Park. We've got the Tesco planning application that went through, and it was refused by Torbay Council officers and by the elected members on the planning committee. Whether you support it or not, the main aim really is for the council to ensure that that land is used for business purposes more so than retail purposes. So the aim is that we'd like to see business on that business park, not just something like a supermarket. So there's very much about trying to increase the wages in the Bay so that it's not all low pay, and a need to actually secure benefits to support a low-paid economy, really. So one of the biggest things is, I would say, working through the local economic partnership, which sounds a bit bland, this Devon and Somerset sort of body, but it is really important because it's bringing down funding. One of the things that I know is available at the moment is that the high-tech forum that the Torbay Development Agency run with partners and businesses, that there is some funding available around competition. It's called Innovate UK. And you can actually get some funding for research and development. And I think that's something that businesses who want to do something a little bit different can have a look at, some sort of research around the bit that they're interested in and get some funding to fund that.
See, this is half of the challenge, isn't it? Because you hear this a lot. Oh, there's funding to do this, there's funding to do that. This pot of money can make... But actually, it's so hard to find out about that. And if you've never applied for funding, it's near impossible to actually tap into those funds. And then you suddenly find someone who go, oh, didn't you get funding for that? There was 20 grand available. And how can you, not you specifically, but how is that going to be made more accessible to people?
Well, the biggest thing that's worth getting involved in, I would say, is the Torbay Business Forum. And I would say that, wouldn't I? Because I help them and work with them in my spare time. But the Business Forum brings together the large and small businesses across the Bay. And they tend to, they will tend to be aware of what's going on with some of the big money. Okay, so some of the big funding, like that research one. And they will support people. So if people need mentoring or help, we've got some great people on there. There's like Bishop Fleming, Francis Clark, you've got the accountants, the solicitors, you've got Rob Newman, who's the chairman, who's retired from Kitson's. You've got a lot of people with a lot of skills who are involved in trying to make business work in the Bay, and they are really good at promoting what's going on. So I would say join the Business Forum. If you go to the website, torbaybusinessforum.org.uk, and you can sign up to the newsletter and keep informed. And another way as well is Torbay Development Agency. They do a business barometer, which is basically they take the heartbeat of the business community in the Bay to find out how things are doing at the moment, and they use that to evidence the ability to levy in more funding for the Bay. So if they want to go to torbaydevelopmentagency.co.uk and go onto their inquiry page and say, join me to the business barometer, please, they will be asked how things are going at the moment, so they can use it as evidence for things. But it's not easy. Business isn't easy. That's why people in business work really, 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 really hard and have to be smart to make it successful. It isn't easy, you know.
Certainly not. We need to no, absolutely. I want to talk about attracting different and diverse, non-geographically based businesses into the area. But we have got some of our own commercial commitments.
The 140-second pitch, sponsored by Torbay Discount Card, Torbay's community discount card.
If you've never heard it before, the 140-second pitch is 140 seconds to pitch your business to the people of Torbay and South Devon. Tonight, we welcome Sebastian from Lemongrass. Sebastian, your 140 seconds starts now.
Hello, my name is Sebastian and I'm the owner of Lemongrass Takeaway in Babakan. We're a new business selling authentic Southern Asian cuisine from the regions of Vietnam and Thailand. The ethos behind the business is freshness and quality. All of our meat, fish and veg come from local suppliers and the food is prepared daily and cooked fresh. I wanted to bring a new takeaway experience to Torquay for people who wanted to change from the usual outlets on the high street. I have a real passion for Asian cuisine and all of the recipes have come from my travels throughout Asia. We're based in Babakan on Redden Hill Road and you can find us online at www.lemongrasstorbay.com or on Facebook under Lemongrass Torbay. We're open on Wednesday to Sunday and provide a delivery service on the Friday and Saturday night in the Torquay area. We also cater for any dietary requirements and can make most of our dishes gluten-free. Please call us on 01803 411 200 and one of our members of staff will happily discuss options with you. So if you want to try something new, are fed up with greasy, heavy takeaways, then come give us a try. We have a range of tasty, tempting dishes from lemongrass chili chicken, 5-spice beef and peanut butter noodles, and delicious starters like fresh summer rolls and Thai-style fish cakes made with locally caught fish. Full menu is at www.lemongrasstorbay.com. Let us take the hassle out of your evenings during this busy festive period. If you want to try something new, healthy and delicious, give us a call on 01803 411 200. You won't be disappointed.
Now, you hit on a kind of favourite subject here with food and this team. So, now, explain, it's a brave move to open a takeaway food business in this neck of the woods, because we do have a fair few.
Yeah, I think what I wanted to do is I wanted to do something completely different. So you'll find if you look online on the menu, it's not the same as all the other eateries. And, you know, there was a real lack of Vietnamese and Thai food in Torquay, and people were going over to Paignton for that. So I thought, why not bring it here?
I totally agree. I look forward to trying it. Give us the phone number one more time.
It's 01803 411 200.
We like that. We like that. Well done, Sebastian. So that's the 140-second pitch. If you fancy giving a go at that, get in touch during the week and you could be on the show next week. It's just after 20 to 9. It's Monday night. The hour is flying by. Martin, what's going on Twitter?
Right, so John eBay Man, he's back on TorbayHour. He's had a bit of a break, so welcome back. Also, welcome back to Metal Detecting 2. They're back online and looking for fellow searchers. They've been posting a few of the things they found, actually, and it's really quite interesting.
Really?
Yeah, Victorian rings and coins and everything. I might buy a metal detector.
It's like buying a lottery ticket, isn't it? It's like, this is going to be my guarantee to millions of pounds.
Isn't that how it works? You buy a metal detector and then you find something.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
you carry on in that. Don't worry, you'll get one for Christmas. You'll be fine.
Right, also we've had AAA Screen Devon. They've been on there promoting free NHS screening for men 65 plus in Paignton on the 19th.
Excellent.
So get yourself checked. Tour 2 Limited have been on in the lead up to Christmas. Don't forget your bin collections are going to change, so check with your local council and see what's going on there. Bygones Torquay, they're looking for Devonshire Regiment items for their display. I know they like a lot of the old stuff, so give them a shout if you've got something sort of sat around in your loft or something like that. Or, you know, it's a good way of respecting your family that have gone, that have been in the Devonshire Regiment and things like that. You know, it can go on display and people can actually see it and sort of think about the guys that have done that type of thing.
I thought you were talking about sort of hand grenades and firearms, but the amnesty for that's finished now.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, more like cap badges, caps, uniform, that type of
Sensible
thing.
stuff.
Sensible
right.
stuff.
Sensible
Yeah, exactly.
Stuff.
And Bay Bubble Footy, they've been on. They're now the number one on TripAdvisor for activities in Torbay. So if you're looking for something to do, then give them a shout.
We like that. It's good. In the studio tonight is Alison Hernandez, who everybody knows on Twitter. It's as simple as that. No.
They know on Twitter. Even in my own ward, though, they don't know me, and I go door to door. Me and Mark Kingscote, we're always out there, and they still say, "Who are you?"
I will reveal that I live in your ward, and you've never been to my door.
I have. You just weren't in. I can tell you now. I won't say your road because you might want to keep that private, but me and my co-counsellor have been there.
Well, there you go.
On many occasions.
Okay.
She knows where you live.
I know where they live, yeah, exactly.
Right, okay, fine, right. No, okay, listen, we are rapidly running out of time. We've got another song which I want to play tonight. We need to find out. Now, the world is changing. We're not reliant anymore on necessarily connections. Whilst I welcome infrastructure support, there's going to be a new station, certainly in my neck of the woods soon, which is going to be great. Yeah. There's obviously an improved road network coming to the whole southwest and certainly in Torbay, and that's great and it's wonderful. However, it's not essential for business to do business these days with the internet the way it is. Actually, we would welcome faster broadband connections. Now, I live not very far from the Edgingwell Business Park. I can't get fibre. And I don't know if they're in the same position as me. However, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, but have you signed up to the older, BT Infinity, We Want It Here?
Yeah, of course I have.
Well, we need people to lead a campaign to do that. It can't all just be me. That's the bit, We need people to step up and say, right, I'm leading the broadband campaign. We're going to make this happen. And actually, we need to probably go door to door and get people with iPads, sign them up straight away while we're there. It's that type of effort I think we might need to get it in our world.
Why is that? So why has Brixham got it? Why has Newton Abbot got it? Dartmouth's got it? And yet you actually drive past...
I know.
Chippy to get to those areas. This is craziness.
I did ask this actually when I was first elected in 2011 about when the switch in Shippy with the Willows was going to be upgraded. It's partly to do with the road. It's partly to do with that hasn't, because of the road building exercise. There was some reason that was going to delay it even further. So we're probably about 2 years behind everyone else. I know, it's sad, isn't it?
I know. I
wish that the demand was even higher, but the demand isn't there either. We need a campaign, but I don't know how much faster it will speed it up. Because actually, for businesses to be successful in the Bay, and this is what people don't understand, the reason for having the fast broadband and 4G, even I don't understand. I'm a bit of a technophobe. Even I don't understand it all. But I know that you need upload speed. If you're running a business,
totally,
it's not about download necessarily. It's about upload. So it's about making sure that you can actually do that really brilliant design work and upload it to your shared drive, so that it can be saved and used by another business or whatever. Or it's about getting your images and your video uploaded. I remember when Nick Ellison and I did the mayoral videos. It took hours to actually just upload them to YouTube. This is the this is the situation. But
I think I'm getting like 0.6 of a meg up at the moment. I get 6 or 7 down, but 0.6 up, and it's just ridiculous. I'm moving a lot of video and audio around.
Yeah,
and you sit there for hours.
But this is another reason why we set up Torbay Social Media Cafe, because the business community in the Bay isn't as active. It is now. It's got TorbayHour. TorbayHour is really, pushing it massively. And I would say, but we were there trying to get people to go online. One of the biggest issues we've got is a lot of people aren't.
Why not drag BT down?
Yeah.
Get them in a hot seat, sit them down, and say, why aren't you doing this?
Let's do it.
All right, let's try and do that.
I want your help.
Okay.
I can find the contact, but you're going to be with me at that meeting.
We'll do it on TorbayHour.
We'll do it on TorbayHour. We'll bring him in here.
Let's do that.
Get him to justify it.
Yeah, I'll
Absolutely.
find the contact.
All right,
do that.
so we've established the fact that once we've got a fantastic broadband network with fibre to every house in Shippy, and other areas of Torbay as well will be included in the
yeah, never mind the rest of the Bay.
From that, aside from that, the non-geographically based, so software design, people doing light engineering stuff which isn't reliant on those heavy infrastructure projects to make them work. What can we do? Who can we get down here? Are actively things being done? What's the marketing from Torbay towards London and the South East, which is inevitably going to be the hub of this kind of activity? What's being done to drag them down here and say, this is a great place to do business?
Well, I know that Torbay Development Agency have been really proactive in doing things. They did a big event at the House of Commons and invited some big investors to come and see and meet people from Torbay, because actually one of the challenges we've got is how I think video is probably going to be our solution, because getting people down from London to visit, it's they may come down on a holiday, they may be interested to come down for a day, but investors need to see how amazing it is here. I've seen some brilliant videos done by Somerset recently. It was like a 1-minute video about how fantastic it was to do business in Somerset, and I thought, we need one for the Bay. In that high voice, I thought when I
well, we found the voiceover for it, so that's that problem solved.
But yeah, it is about creating relationships with investors, and that is the biggest thing that the politicians can do, is create those relationships, and some of the senior staff really who are out and about trying to promote the Bay. And I know the Torbay Development Agency, Alan Denby, people like that have been really active in trying to secure investments and form relationships. But we need everybody to be doing it. You know, whenever you're anywhere, you need to be talking about how great it is here. In terms of an actual marketing strategy, or what are we doing specifically, we have got things like the High Tech Forum, which is quite an exciting thing. We've got a manufacturing, what's it called? The MTI. I always get it wrong. Manufacturing and Technology and Innovation. That's it. Hurrah! I only remember it because of the hashtag. But we've got things like that going on, and they had an exhibition only a few weeks ago, really, at the Riviera Centre, to try and promote how creative and technology savvy we were down here, to show off to people. But really, we need to be going to them.
Totally. But what about central government politics? I mean, George Osborne was down at Malden a couple of weeks ago. He was talking about bringing sustainable jobs, bringing things like that to the area. But really, politicians' exposure, you get sort of rather nasty pictures of David Cameron with no shirt on during the summer holidays going to Cornwall. But
lovely.
I know it doesn't really bear thinking of, does it? But
Martin's face.
But what actually, other than sort of promoting the tourism, what can we do to convince central government there is more to this area?
Yeah.
And actually, the important knock-on from that is the training that people get that are here, so that they don't go, well, actually, I can earn a fortune by going to work in the southeast. We need to have the businesses in this neck of the woods to keep them here.
Yeah, well, actually, we had Greg Clark, who's the Minister for Innovation and Skills, come down a couple of months back, talking specifically, because we wanted to show him through businesses that we are something more than just tourism. And there's something called the Growth Deal, which the government's initiative is, which is lots of money for projects.
Who comes up with the names for these things?
It's exciting, isn't it? Growth Deal. It is about securing a deal for growth in your area.
Not growth.
But do you know what? I think if people have got innovative ideas, I would honestly suggest they contact the Torbay Development Agency. When we have this money that we may get, and we get opportunities to actually do something a bit exciting, we need the ideas. I remember when Coastal Communities Fund first came out, people were scratching their head around what project they could do to actually secure some funding for. That's not right, is it? So let's try and get the ideas forward, and I would suggest contacting the Torbay Development Agency and offering them up. Because what we need are people to help work up those ideas as well. There's always an opportunity. So don't think the council come up with the ideas. You do. People like you do.
But the challenge is finding enough hours in the day. We've all got families. We've all got jobs. We've got businesses which we're trying to run. And then we've then got to find another 3 or 4 hours. Even if it's a week, it's a challenge to fit that in.
Yeah, tell me about it. I don't know how I fit being a counsellor in, to be honest. But, if you think it's important, you find the time. As I keep telling people, there are the hours between 10 and 12 at night when your children are asleep, when your wife or partner or husband is also asleep, that you can actually do some work. I do most of my work in the evening, which is why I'm active on social media, because it's when I have the time to actually stop and think about what I'm doing and communicate with the people that are helping me achieve things. So, I always say to people, even if you're really busy, which a lot of people are, most people I come across are, stressed out, busy working, busy looking after families or caring responsibilities, if it's really, really important to you, you will find the time.
Right, okay, time for a tune.
Speak slowly, speak softly, and be kind to yourself. Speak gently, speak with empathy. When you have those little words with yourself, speak slowly, speak softly, and be kind to yourself. Speak gently, speak with empathy. When you have those little words with yourself, have a little word with yourself when you're feeling blue. Have a little word with yourself when you're angry and the world's against you. You clear your mind, and through the mist you see the view.
TorbayHour radio show. Anne-Marie Way, I really like that. It's called Speak Slowly. More homegrown talent from Exeter. Very, very good indeed, like that. Right, we've not been speaking slowly this hour and we're still running out of time. We could be going on for the rest of the night. We've also, I tell you what, we've also got Now, Martin was on the show a few weeks ago. We had Martin Fest one night. I was thinking about changing my name to Martin just to fit in the studio.
I think it'd suit you.
Do you reckon? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Martin Hill came in. Now, Martin then revealed halfway through our chat that actually he was an active musician as well, which is always great to hear. Martin, you're actually organising an event to raise money for Roadcroft Hospice. Tell me all about it. Hello, Martin.
That's right, yep. Okay, this is Spectrum Music, concert wind band. We rehearse in King's Kerswell every week, and we do a lot of gigs around the Torbay and Newton Abbot area. And we're going to be in the Avenue Church in Newton Abbot at 7:30 on Friday the 12th of December for a festive concert.
Festive. So does that mean there's going to be mince pies and stuff as well?
Yep, there's going to be mince pies and the like, and refreshments, and it's going to be carols, and a number of Christmas medleys and band numbers, and it should be great fun, and all are welcome.
So we need to know some important facts. We need to know things like the start time.
Absolutely. So it starts at 7:30. As you said, it's all in aid of Roadcroft Hospice, and tickets are £5. And there are some concessions, but it's £5, and you can turn up on the night at the Avenue Church. And we'll be delighted to see you all.
So tell me more about Spectrum Music then. You're active across the whole of Torbay and South Devon?
Absolutely. Spectrum Music have been in existence for some years now. It started off as a brass band, and then we opened our doors to other instruments, hence the Spectrum. So it's not just a brass band. We have clarinets, we have saxophones, and a range of other instruments, but it's all wind. And we are active in the area. We do lots of gigs through the summer. We open the Dartmouth Regatta every year with our last Night of the Proms gig. And we do other gigs all in and around bandstands in Newton Abbot, Torbay, and beyond.
Now, obviously, anything to do with Roadcroft Hospice is going to have a target of unlimited funds. Is there a target that you're looking to achieve with the night?
It's our nominated charity for the year, and so this is just one of our gigs we do, culminating in a donation at the end of the year. Last year we did over £1,000 for the charity, and we're looking to beat that this year.
Brilliant. All right. Well, listen, you have a fantastic time, and now we're in December. I can say Happy Christmas.
Thank you very much. Happy Christmas to you as well.
Have a great night, and let's hope you bust the £1,000 target.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Martin, and we'll no doubt hear more from you in the coming weeks. I can't believe this. It's only 3 minutes to go. Alison, now, the big question then. So what
Oh, God, I'm not going to answer this, am I?
what is the biggest barrier? So I want to set up a new business in Torbay, and I've had a great idea. I've looked around. I've managed to find some funding. What's the big barrier that's stopping me from doing it?
Your biggest barrier is your mindset thinking that there is a big barrier stopping you.
Oh, I like it.
Very profound. It's kind of Yoda, do or do not. There is no try.
There's always barriers in all walks of life, but they're all, overcomeable. If that's a real word or not.
Okay.
That'll do.
Well,
And, if you're struggling that much, contact your local ward counsellor and ask them for some help.
You've left yourself open.
Except, obviously, the Shippy and the Willows ones.
Yeah.
Mark and I, no, we're not available.
Okay. Now, listen, thank you so much for coming in. Martin, can you wrap up what's going on? You've been put in jail, I understand.
Yeah, TorbayHour is in jail.
Oh.
So we can't retweet, we can't talk, but thank you very much, everybody. That's been wonderful. So what's been going on? Hello, Isabella.
Oh.
Alison asked me to say hello to her.
Hello.
Hello, go to bed. Right, Warrior Roofing, they were on earlier. Good and honest roofer. It's worth following roofers, carpenters, all that type of people.
Yeah.
Ready for the winter.
Plumbers.
So yes, exactly. Get following all those people, and then they're there ready for you when you need them.
This is where you could create your list of your domestic services, isn't it?
Look at that.
Look at that.
He's learning, people. He's learning. Seaway Insurance, so they were on saying if you've bought something electrical on Black Friday, maybe worth checking your insurance policy and just make sure it's all covered under the contents insurance.
Good one.
At Bridal Rooms 41, they're a new account on tonight. And Pierpoint Torquay, they were promoting their Torbay Business Network along with Quickstore Torquay. So that's a great event. I went to it, a couple of months. So, it's really nice and a nice breakfast. So come along.
Right, okay, we like that. Right. So if you've only just tuned in and you're wondering what on earth is going on, a chance to enjoy it all over again, of course, on the YouTube channel, which is
TorbayHour.
TorbayHour. It's as easy as that. Just search YouTube for TorbayHour. Chance to hear this and all of the previous shows as well. Alison, thank you for coming in.
Not to forget Small Business Saturday, 6th of December.
I've got a whole thing
Saturday.
of prep here for that as well. Small Business Saturday, support small business. Are you going to come back and see us again?
Oh, please.
Okay, we will let you in. We will let you in. So here we go then. It's the 1st of December. This is the big countdown to Christmas now. A very good trading week. We will be back here next week for another Torbay Hour at precisely 8 next week.
Bye.
Bye.
The Torbay Hour Radio Show, brought to you by the Babacom Inn Christmas Party Night.